Before I get started, let me just say I've seen 3 good movies over the past 3 weeks. The reason I haven't done videos for them is because between school and a combination of other things, I just don't have the time. But since I have your attention right now, I'll give a quick rating of those movies. The Best Man Holiday, A++. The Hunger Games Catching Fire, A++. Frozen, A++. Now that that's out the way, let's talk about some really sad and tragic news. It's no secret to my family, friends, and anyone that follows my channel that I am a huge fan of the Fast and Furious franchise. That series is one of the reasons I got into filmmaking. So therefore, it's sad to me that when Paul Walker, the guy that plays Brian O'Connor in 5 of the 6 Fast and Furious films, 7 technically, but 5 of the 7 Fast and Furious films, Paul Walker died in a car accident. Him and one of his buddies left an event for his charity Reach Out Worldwide. Soon after they left, the driver lost control of the vehicle, ran into a tree and a light pole, and the vehicle burst into flames. It's ironic that Paul Walker loved fast cars, and he was in movies with fast cars, and yet he died in a fast car. I heard the news last night, and I was really shocked because he was 40 years old, and he was so young. Everyone was blowing Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram about the news. Now again, the Fast and the Furious franchise is one of my favorite franchises of all time. So when someone that was a part of that franchise, whether he's an actor, director, DP, or even assistant director, when he or she dies that was a part of that franchise, I'll hold that person dear to my heart. Also, people mainly know Paul Walker for mostly the Fast and Furious franchise. Let's not forget the other great films it was in, like Varsity Blues, Joyride, Takers, hell, even 8 Below. Those were all great movies that he did. I also want to mention Roger Rodas. He was the person that was in the car with Paul Walker in the car accident. I read that he was Paul Walker's financial advisor and he helped Paul Walker establish his charity Reach Out Worldwide. Now everyone knows who Paul Walker is, but even though we didn't know who Roger Rodas is, we can still acknowledge the fact that another man's life was taken in this horrific accident. So my prayers goes out to Roger Rodas' family and friends. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you are asking what's going to happen with the Fast and Furious franchise. I don't blame you, I've asked myself that question too. Well, I've heard numerous times that they plan on continuing the series past the 7th film. But since Paul Walker's character Brian O'Connor is a key character to the series, I don't know how they're going to continue on. A few things could happen. A, they would have to do some reshoots and write in Brian O'Connor's character dying in the movie. B, they would have to restart production with a completely new story with Brian O'Connor dying in the movie. Either way, they'll end up writing Brian O'Connor dying in the movie. Now, from the get-go, I was cautiously optimistic about Universal Studios cranking out Fast and Furious 7 a year after the 6th movie. So if they stick to their original release date, which is July 11th, 2014, I wouldn't be surprised. If the film ends up getting pushed back to 2015, I wouldn't be surprised, and it would be a good time to release movies. If they continue on the series past the 7th film, I don't know how they're going to do it. The series just won't be the same without Paul Walker. Since they're at the point where they can bring the franchise full circle, they might just stop production and rewrite the whole movie and then make this movie the final Fast and Furious movie. Either way, I'll support this franchise for better or worse. I'll tell you one thing, and this will probably make me sound like a dick, but it's just the reality of the situation. But it's situations like this that make me think back to The Dark Knight and how much money that movie made. One of the reasons why is because the actor Heath Ledger died months before the movie came out. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, it's a tragedy that it happened. I'm just saying, when that happened, it got people talking and that makes for publicity. If this type of reaction happens for Fast and Furious 7, I wouldn't be surprised. Nonetheless, it's still heartbreaking that Paul Walker passed away. My heart and prayers goes out to his family, friends, and co-star of all his movies. And if anyone in those 3 categories are watching, like he said in Fast and Furious 6, ride or die. Well, he did like to ride and he did die, but he didn't ride and die in vain. He ride and died because he lived a good life, and now he's riding with God. That's it for the day. I just really wanted to give my thoughts and opinions on this current situation, and as always, if you like what you see, you want to see more, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my other channel. The links are in the description below, and be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. Peace.